TII Item 450, December 10th, 2017. iOS 11.2 and Amazon Prime Video app. Finally.
Welcome to Today in iPhone.
I like it a lot.
Today in iPhone.
Hey, Google!
Oh, yeah.
My beautiful iPhone, which I never have out of my hand and that I do everything with and has become an extension of who I am.
This episode is brought to you by LovePop. Unlock special pricing for 5 or more cards and get free shipping on any order by going to lovepop.com/TII. This episode is sponsored by Boll & Branch. Go right now to bollandbranch.com and use promo code TII to get $50 off the nicest sheets and cotton products you've ever owned. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Rob, and you are listening to the Today in iOS podcast. First up, I want to thank Kevin for sending the artwork for today's show. Kevin wrote the following. Hi, Rob. This picture was taken at the Apple Park Visitor Center. It was marked up with Skitch. Regards, Kevin Crossman, Fremont, California. Well, thank you, Kevin, for sending this in. And folks, you can see the artwork in the free TII app via the bonus button for episode 450 or at Instagram.com/todayinios and also at Facebook.com/todayinios. If you have some artwork and or music you've created on your iOS device that you would like to share with the audience, please email to me at todayinios@gmail.com and please make sure to include which app or apps you use to create said artwork and or music. All right, let's get into the news. On December 1st, Apple released iOS 11.2 Beta 6. Which looked to be the last beta before the Goldmaster, and at the time, speculation was 11.2 Goldmaster would probably be released to the masses sometime mid the week of December 4th, probably around the 5th or 6th. But then, last weekend, on December 2nd, something strange happened. For some iPhone users running iOS 11.1.2, at 12:15 a.m. local time, a bug reared its ugly head and caused devices using third-party apps to send recurring notifications to start to reboot over and over again. This caused Apple to do something I can't remember them ever doing before. They released a single dot update on a Saturday. Yes, iOS 11.2 was released on Saturday, December 2nd, interrupting many a holiday party in the Valley, with Apple team members saying to their significant others, yes, I do need to be on this dang device all night. Deal with it. Or something similar to that. Since the release of iOS 11.2, I have not had anyone tell me any horror stories on the update. Actually, most have been very positive. To that end, I say, release the hounds on iOS 11.2, even for the iPhone 5S or iPhone 6 or 6 Plus. As always, please force quit all open apps and do a reset network settings, then do the update. The one person that emailed in saying that they had some issues with 11.2 then replied back that once they rebooted the phone, the issues went away. Amazing. So what do you get with iOS 11.2? Well, we've kind of covered it in the last few weeks as betas, but let's summarize it all. iPhone 8 and 8 Plus and iPhone 10 marketing still wallpapers are now available on the older iPhones. So this was marketing for those devices. Now you can get it for all devices. Calculator bug caused by slow animation is fixed. That was where you were typing faster than the phone could keep up with and causing you to not actually enter all the keys that you thought you were entering on the calculator, which can be a problem when trying to add up a bunch of numbers quickly and not noticing that it was messing up. Some emojis are tweaked. Additional live wallpapers for iPhone 10. New introductory pricing option for subscription apps, new control center explainer for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth behaviors, a new control center indicator on the iPhone 10, faster wireless charging support for compatible third-party accessories. And for that iPhone 10, I should mention this, in the upper right ear, it's not a notch, it's an ear. In the upper right ear, there's the line under the icons. That is there to indicate you can pull down here for control center. So that's the one thing that was a nice, because if you're just getting an iPhone 10, you might not realize you can pull down there on that ear. There is a new sports section in the dedicated TV app, Go Flyers. And most importantly, at least in the US, there is Apple Pay Cash. Some other smaller changes also included fixes for all those autocorrect bugs we've been talking about or not talking about that have been out there. So the IT one is fixed now. Improved video camera stabilization, which I was not even aware was an issue. One I mentioned on the last episode adds support to podcasts to automatically advance to the next episode from the same show, which is finally now out to the masses. Adds support for real-time text, RTT, phone calls for the deaf and hard of hearing. Improves voice-over stability in messages, settings, app support, and music. Resolves an issue that prevented VoiceOver from announcing incoming notifications. And there are many, many other bug fixes and optimizations that were rolled out with 11.2. As I said, release the hounds on 11.2 as it will make the overall experience for almost all users much better. A lot less paper cuts with all these fixes in place. So even if you are not in the US and cannot take advantage of Apple Pay Cash, the improvements, bug fixes, optimizations for 11.2 make it a must update. I did find one article from Forbes talking about battery life issues with 11.2, but again, I have not seen that from any of my devices, and I've not heard of that from any others. And the fact Apple does not even have another beta in the works for devs tells you a lot. 11.2.1 is nowhere to be found yet. It has been a long time since Apple released a version of iOS, and over a week later, did not have the next version in beta available for devs. That says right there are not any major issues with iOS 11.2, at least no new ones that were introduced with 11.2, that is. Oh, and there was one report about Apple fixing an issue with 11.2 with regards to unauthorized access to HomeKit products that apparently no one knew about because no one is using it. But if you had been that one HomeKit user, Apple had your back. At least a few days late, though. For those in the US, Apple Pay Cash is now available. It did take until December 4th to roll that out across the US. If you didn't see it originally, it is now available. For those not familiar with Apple Pay Cash, it is the new peer-to-peer payment system from Apple that will revolutionize flea markets and Comic-Cons across the US. Using Apple Pay Cash, you can send and receive money through iMessage conversations using the Message app, so yeah, it'll revolutionize babysitting, yard mowing, leaf raking, and soon snow shoveling markets as well. The big question many will ask is, how do I set up Apple Pay Cash? Well, simple. 1, open the Wallet app. 2, tap on the Apple Pay Cash card. 3, you are then walked through the setup process and asked if you want to enable Apple Pay. 4, you will be taken to the Settings app to confirm your info, and then Apple Pay Cash will take a few seconds to activate if all is okay and you have a good connection. Give it some more time if your connection is not so good. 5, after it is activated, an Apple Pay Cash card will show up in your wallet and you will be able to access Apple Pay Cash in the Wallet app. So that is how you set it up. Now, how do you pay Gil Gerard for that autographed photo? Well, simple. First, you open a conversation with Gil Gerard in the Message app. Next, you tap the Message app store icon. Then you choose the Apple Pay icon. Then you tap the plus or minus buttons to change the amount to pay, or you use a keyboard and you enter $30 if you're getting the table picture. Then tap on Pay. Of course, if Gil is messaging you for the money, he would tap on Request and not the Pay. And you would then confirm the payment. You get to preview this, then you tap the blue arrow to send the money. Money you are paying to Gil will be pulled from your LinkedIn debit card or your credit card, or from Apple Pay Cash card itself if you previously added funds to the card or received funds from other people. Here is something important. If you send money using Apple Pay Cash card or a debit card, there is no charge. Zip, zero, nada, repeat, no charge. If it pulls from your credit card, there is a 3% fee. So before rushing off to a con to get some autographs, make sure you get some funds into your Apple Pay Cash card so you're not paying the 3% credit card fee at that time. On December 4th, Apple rolled out tvOS 11.2 for the 4th and 5th gen Apple TV models. If you have automatic update turned on, you have a better than 50% chance it actually did the update. The big change is the addition of the sports section in the TV app, Go Flyers, which then has integration with the ESPN app. There is now a new sports tab at the bottom of the app. You will see that there. Go Flyers. There is also improvements for the Apple TV 4K version to display output to SDR for apps that are GPU bound when running in HDR. Yeah, say that 3 times fast. And they brought back the unwatchable category, and The unwatchable category? That cannot be right. The unwatchable category, how about the unwatched category in home sharing for movies, TV shows, and home videos? And that would have been a great point to edit, but I'll leave it in instead of putting it at the end. But the update to tvOS 11.2 was not even close to the big news for Apple TV last week. No, it was not.
Hey, Rob, it's Brent out here in Oklahoma City, and you've probably already got a million calls and emails about this, but I wanted to let you know that a lot of wishes have come true. Amazon Video is now on Apple TV as of today, and today is December the 6th, I believe it's the 6th today. So anyway, just thought I'd let you know. Catch you later. Bye.
Hey, Rob, it's Shannon in Arizona. I just wanted to call in with a quick review on Amazon Prime Video app for Apple TV. It was available yesterday, which was December 6th, Wednesday. I'm recording this on Thursday. So I downloaded it as soon as I got home, and when the wife got home, we watched a couple episodes of The Good Wife, and then she watched, I think, an episode of 24 that she loves. And it was everything we had expected it would be. It was perfect, I thought. Much better than my experience on our TiVo app, which was really slow and clunky. So, it was perfect. Then today I hear that a lot of people are giving it a hard time. I'm not sure why, but as I stated on the Google Plus page, that I really enjoy it. I am glad it finally came to Apple TV, and it's going to make watching Amazon Prime shows a much more pleasurable experience now. So anyway, just wanted to call in with that. Thanks. Talk to you later.
Brent and Shannon, thank you both for your feedback. And the Apple TV 3rd generation and later now have access to Amazon Prime Video. This includes support for universal search, at least in the US, Canada, Australia, Norway, and Sweden. This is something I have been waiting for a long time. I hated having to stream from my iPhone or my iPad from the Amazon Prime Video app. Sometimes it worked okay, sometimes not so much. Sometimes it would crash multiple times. Sometimes it would be fine, but you never know what you were going to get. Almost rarely did it go more than a couple episodes okay. Oh, and per what was mentioned on the voicemails from Shannon, I also do not get those that are complaining. I have been using it, and I have no complaints. It works great for me. I read through the posts of those that are complaining, and other than saying it's bad, they did not say why it was bad, saying things like, it was not what we were waiting for. I was waiting for an app where I can access Amazon Prime videos directly on my Apple TV, and well, that's what I received, and I'll just say, works for me. But I guess my standards must be lower than others out there. Let me know your thoughts on this. 206-666-6364. That's 206-MOON-DOG, or send an email to todayinios@gmail.com. Also, let me know what Amazon Prime exclusive content you recommend. Here's a couple of my recommendations. If you have Amazon Prime and you're just getting it now and have not watched Amazon Prime videos before, start with Man in the High Castle. It is a great Amazon Prime exclusive. There's also The Tick and Lore and much more, all now available and accessible via universal search, at least, again, in the US, Canada, Australia, Norway, and Sweden. Even Airplane, the movie, is available. I just introduced my 11-year-old son to Airplane, the movie. He did not get over half the jokes, which made me feel really kind of old. Here's what Eddie Q with Apple had to say about this. Not me feeling old, but Amazon Prime Video, that is. Quote, Amazon Prime Video is one of the most eagerly anticipated apps to come to Apple TV, so we're excited to bring all of that great content to customers, unquote. On my Apple TV, along the top row, it is now Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO, and ESPN. Here is a quote from Amazon on this edition. Quote, there is nothing that excites us more than delighting our customers, and we are thrilled for them to stream Prime Video on Apple TV. The app arrives just in time for the highly anticipated new season of the Grand Tour, which launches on December 8th, and Prime Video members streaming on Apple TV 4K will have the exceptional viewing experience of 4K HDR, unquote. Again, let us know some of your favorite Amazon Prime exclusives or things that are just over there like The Americans. Highly recommend The Americans. And I'm going to recommend this one. And please don't shoot me for this once you start watching it. It is so bad, it's good. Comrade Detective. That's all I'm going to say. Comrade Detective. check it out on Amazon Prime. Okay, let's stick with Apple TV here. Apple's official TV app started showing up on December 8th. For some, on the fourth and fifth generation Apple TVs, and that was in the UK, France, and Germany. So on December 8th, some folks in the UK, France, and Germany started seeing Apple's TV app. To which people in those countries say, it's about bloody time. Well, in the UK at least. I will be nice and not say what they were thinking in France and Germany. I'm hearing from others in the UK that the app is also showing up on their iOS devices as well, but you may need to turn it off and back on for the app to show up, and it will replace where your video app was on your iOS device. So again, Apple's TV app on Apple TVs, 4th and 5th gen in the UK, France, and Germany, plus on iOS devices in those countries as well, and that goes back to December 8th. And if you're not seeing it, reboot your devices. Thanks to our sponsor today, LovePop, who make the greatest greeting cards. Actually, Love Pops are more than cards. They are unforgettable gifts that you can send in an envelope. Each one is laser cut, hand assembled, and designed to surprise and delight. I mentioned I sent the Christmas tree with the pop-up village to my mom. She loves it. It reminded me of the little villages my mom would put out each year around Christmas time. And Love Pop has hundreds of designs to find one that connects with someone in your life. Like the really cool Santa train for those you know that put out trains each year. But they have so many others for the holidays and beyond. They even have a dragon with Daenerys riding on it for Game of Thrones, for the significant other in your life that is a GOT fan, plus 4 other GOT cards. The purpose of every Love Pop is to create a moment of connection between you and the people you care about. And I hope Love Pop can help you share the joy this holiday season with your friends and family. You can unlock special pricing for 5 or more cards and get free shipping on any order by going to lovepop.com/TII. That again is lovepop.com/TII to get that special pricing and free shipping. This is a card that will set you apart this holiday season. And it is the one card that will definitely not end up in the recycling bin come January 1st. Be remembered into the next year by starting a Love Pop tradition this year. lovepop.com/TII. It sure beats sending a fruit loaf. Back to Apple updates, and they had one more, and that was to watchOS 4.2, which came out on December 5th. The key addition, again, if you are in the US, is the addition of Apple Pay Cash, which, well, we went over a few minutes ago on how to use. And on Apple Watch, it is basically the same in that you use the Message app. In addition to Apple Pay Cash, there are bug fixes and optimizations that make upgrading to watchOS 4.2 worth your time and effort. And time it will take as you need to have your watch over 50% charged and for it to be on the charger, and it takes about 45 minutes for the full update. In addition to bug fixes and optimizations, there are additional capabilities per what you can control with HomeKit, as if. And there is a new workout type that third-party apps can track distances and average speeds and more on the Series 3 watches. Should you upgrade to watchOS 4.2? Yes, you should. From the email bag, hi Rob, I ordered a new unlocked iPhone X, Space Gray 256 gig on Friday, December 8th, using the Apple Store app. At the time of the order, delivery was forecast between December 12th and 14th. I received notification this morning, December 10th, that it will be delivered tomorrow, Monday, December 11th, one day earlier than the original delivery window. I will not be opening it right away, as this is my primary holiday gift. My wife will be the benefactor of my beautiful gold iPhone 7 Plus. She is presently using an iPhone 6 Plus. I guess you could say that we are an iPhone family. Daughter and son-in-law with iPhones, adult son with iPhone 8 Plus, along with me and the wife. In fact, my daughter and son, as well as myself, have 2 active iPhones each, one personal and one provided by our employer. I suspect that there are a lot of Apple families out there like us. Aloha and happy holidays will be in Honolulu. Well, thanks, Will. And I did some checking this weekend as well. And what I found for various models was delivery anywhere from December 13th to 19th, depending on the model, and pickup available tomorrow for some as well. So it looks like Apple has reached or is close to equilibrium prior to the end of December, which is not something anyone was predicting for the iPhone X. which means you can queue up the competing articles about whether this means Apple was able to ramp up production faster than expected or demand was lower than expected. And speaking of said articles, here is one that points to the argument about better ramp up. It's from IHS Market Report, and it comes word that the iPhone X makes up over 2% of the iPhone's active installed base just 3 weeks after it launched. According to IHS, quote, in the US, iPhone X adoption after 3 weeks matched the adoption of the iPhone 8 Plus and beat early adoption levels for both the iPhone 8 and 7 Plus. Only the iPhone 7 model had a greater initial success. In Japan, initial iPhone X adoption was as good or better than any recent iPhone launch and matched the level of the iPhone 7, unquote. Ming-Chi Kuo also is saying that the reduction in lead time is due to better than expected improvements in supply chain and production line and not from any weakness in demand. Again, reduced lead times will lead some to say it is a weakness in demand and will write articles comparing how long it took the iPhone 7 Plus or 6 Plus to get down to 1 week lead time. At least one of those articles will be taken seriously, and you will see Apple stock drop because of that. Right now, at least the articles I'm reading, the evidence seems to point to improved supply chain and production yields, along with greater demand for higher-end iPhone Xs with 256 gig storage. It's going to make the quarterly report next January, the end of January, very, very interesting. Are you looking at getting a Series 3 Apple Watch, but are conflicted because you know your original Apple Watch will likely just be given to a child who's not grateful at all and will complain about getting said Apple Watch? Or maybe you just know that your old Apple Watch would just collect dust in a drawer when you get the new one and you don't like the idea of that. Well, Apple is offering up Apple Store gift cards when you trade in your old Apple Watch to get a new one. Depending on the device, you can get between a whopping $50 and $175 for your old Apple Watch, depending on model and condition. An original 38 millimeter aluminum will get you the $50. A 42 millimeter Series 2 stainless steel will get you $175. Well, this is all nice and convenient. The dollars that Apple are offering, yeah, they kind of suck. You're better off wiping it clean, putting it in the original box, and just give it to one of your nephews or nieces or the kid that mowed your lawn. If your own kids aren't grateful for the hand-me-downs, that is. Just saying. Or if you do want money for it, go to eBay, where they're getting over $300 for a 42 millimeter Series 2 stainless steel Apple Watch. Or go to Craigslist and then exchange money at the local police station. If you're going to go through Craigslist, do not have someone show up at your house, and do not go to their house. Remember, go to the police station to exchange items when you sell on Craigslist. In any case, Apple's offer kind of sucks. There's a lot better ways to make money, but if you are time deprived and are looking for just an easy way to get some extra money for your old Apple Watch and you're getting a new one, then you could always use it. The folks at Mac Rumors did a bunch of wireless and fast charging of the iPhone Xs, and they looked at the 5-watt wireless chargers and the 5-watt wired chargers, the 7.5-watt wireless, the 12-watt wired, and USB-C chargers from 18 watts all the way on up to 87 watts. What did they find? Well, the charger that comes with your iPhone X is the worst. In 60 minutes, you get just 38% charge. With the 5-watt wireless charger from Geotech, it puts you at 39% in 60 minutes. The 7.5-watt charger from Belkin pushed you up to 46% charge. A 12-watt charger that comes with Apple's iPad Pro, that will get you a 72% charged. The USB-C 18-watt chargers and above would get you to 79% charged. Note, the 18-watt, the 30-watt, and the 87-watt USB-C chargers all came in right around 79% charge. So going to 87-watt USB-C charger that comes with a MacBook Pro, that's not going to buy you anything. So you can just use the 18-watt or the one that comes with even a MacBook, the regular MacBook, which is a lower, I think 29-watt. That will get you to the 79% in 60 minutes just as fast as the 87-watt. One thing they noted When using the USB-C chargers, you should use the USB-C to Lightning cable from Apple for optimal charging. If you want more info on the different chargers and the different percentages of charge for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and 45 minutes, look for the link in the show note. But my takeaway from all of this is if you have an iPad with a 12-watt charger, use that one to charge your iPhone 10 and just put the 5-watt charger it came with in that drawer with all those old 30-pin charging cables that you really just can't get yourself to throw away. One thing to note on the testing, the 7.5-watt charging wireless charging is only supported if you update to 11.2 that allows for the faster wireless charging. And right now it looks like just the Mophie wireless charging base and the Belkin Boost Up wireless charging pad are the only two that support the faster charging. Both will set you back $60. The Mophie is just available in black and the Belkin just in white. There was an article on how to improve the sound of your AirPods by cleaning out the earwax. That, I was not going to mention until I read this part, and I just can't help myself. Quote, to fix your sound issues, take a softly bristled clean toothbrush. You can then carefully brush the larger openings of the earpod. Then suck on the larger opening until you feel that you are causing air to come through. Then brush again. This should solve your issues. The main reasons why this has happened is your ears with excess amount of wax that melts into the earbud, unquote. And as my 9-year-old would say at this point, I got nothing. Switching gears, which isn't difficult. CBT Nuggets did a survey of 500 people asking them to test their virtual assistants in both quiet and noisy environments. Siri gets the inquiry right about 70% of the time. That was better than Google Now, Cortana, Google Home, and Alexa. Yeah, I know. Everyone likes to make fun of Siri, and she is by no means perfect, but she is better than the rest. And she definitely has the best sense of humor. One place the article did say she was not at the top of the pack was when getting music that you asked for, but beyond that, she did top the charts or was either first or second in all the other categories.
Hey, Rob, this is Terry in Fort Worth. I was listening to your last podcast talking about how great the battery is on the iPhone 10. I have a new iPhone 10, and I'm getting about the same battery life as I've gotten on my iPhone 6 Plus, my iPhone 6S Plus, my iPhone 7 Plus. Let me correct that. My iPhone 6 Plus, when I got it, I was getting around 10 to 12 hours of usage time as measured in the battery settings on the iPhone. When I went to the 6S Plus, that seemed to drop dramatically to about somewhere between 4 and 6 hours of usage time during the day. And I thought there was a problem with it. I played the return game for a while and just realized it must be my usage, I guess. And it's continued that way for me for the 7 Plus. I tried the 8 Plus, and now I'm on the 10. And I get about the same amount. If I take it off charge at 7 a.m. in the morning, I am down to 1% by 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I've typically tried all of the battery-saving tricks that, are listed out there that you've recommended and others about turning off push notifications, location services, various things like that. I still get about the same. And whether I restore it as new or set up as new or restore it from a backup, still. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the fact that I do run it during the day on full brightness. I don't like the screen dimmed even a little bit. But I was doing that on the Plus, where I got the terrific battery life as well. And plus, I do stream radio during the day, so I am streaming, over cellular. But anyway, I'm going to try I've been running the 10 on full notifications, all those things turned on just to see how I'd like it. I do like it, but I'm going to try going to the battery saving tips on the 10 and see if I get the extended battery life that everybody is talking about. I'm not going to switch away from the iPhone. I still love it. But it must be my usage. Maybe it's the fact that, like I said, I run it on full brightness all day long. But anyway, just want to let you know what my experience has been. And again, I love your show, and thanks so much. Bye-bye. Hey, Rob, Terry again from Fort Worth talking about the iPhone battery. One thing I forgot to mention was I do check regularly the battery statistics on my iPhone to see what apps are using battery and what percentage they're using and whether it's in the background and all that. And I don't have any standout culprits, any that's really saying, hey, this is what's just draining your battery or anything like that. So anyway, I just want to throw that in there too. Thanks again. Bye.
Well, Terry, I think you know the answer, and that is dim your display a little bit. Hey, try dark mode if you've got the iPhone 10. But I would try going to 90 to 80% on the slider for the brightness, somewhere that looks about there. And then lower it a little bit the next day, lower it a little bit more the next day, and keep doing that until you get down to finally around 50%. Don't go to 50% right away because that might be too jarring to you. But lower a little bit, drop it 10% each day for 5 days, and then see how you like it and see where your battery life is. That'd be the first thing. Second thing, check to see what you have for where it turns your display off. How soon does it go into sleep mode? I have it set for 5 minutes. Do you have it where it never goes to sleep? Maybe that's another issue. You're at full brightness and the display is on all the time. Put it at 15 minutes or 5 minutes. But get something in there for it to auto go to sleep. And again, work to get the display brightness down. Those would be the two key things. And just see if those things make a big difference. Because I can tell you right now with my iPhone 10, since I've had it since November was the 3rd when it came out, I've had one day it didn't make it through the whole day. And that one day I was traveling and I was tethering my laptop to my phone, and I was on my laptop a good 4+ hours tethering it to my phone, plus doing other stuff on the phone. And it was a heavy usage day. And that was the only day I didn't make it through the whole day. And even then I made it through most of the day. I made it till the evening. So, but every other day I haven't gone below 20%, and that includes other days when I was traveling and using it quite a bit. So something's clearly wrong. First place to look is that brightness. Get that down, and then make sure you have it where it's set for the screen to go to sleep 15 minutes or 5 minutes. Get something in there. Into the email bag. Hi, Rob. It's been a while since I was in touch, but that doesn't mean I'm not listening. I'm enjoying your podcast as much now as I always have. I, like so many other people, have been caught up in the hype about the iPhone 10. So much so that even with a year to run on my current contract, I have ordered an iPhone 10 Silver 256 gig via the Apple Store app. Just to let you know about the lead time here in Ireland, it's currently 5 working days according to their website. So my order is due to be delivered at the beginning of next week. I have a question regarding something you mentioned on a recent episode of Today in iOS. That is that you said that when you get your iPhone 10, that you were going to set it up as a new iPhone to avoid possibly carrying some problems over from previous phone. By this, do you mean that once you start setting up your iPhone 10 that you don't restore from backup, or you go through the whole setup process and then do a restore from backup? Sorry if I made this sound complicated, as obviously I would like to do this the best way when my 10 arrives. My confusion comes from saying that you are going to set it up as a new phone. Obviously, there is a restore done at some stage. Otherwise, you wouldn't have your contacts, photos, calendars, etc., and would have to start from scratch. Many thanks, Rob, for your assistance and for your endless supply of helpfulness. Regards, Brian Mitchell, Galloway, Ireland. Well, hi, Brian. I set it up as a new phone. No restore from backup at all. You can sync contacts between devices, so that is not an issue. This is just another device that has access to my iTunes Connect account, info, and contacts. Every few years, I do a new setup as a new device. It lets me start over and not have so many apps that I mostly do not use on the device. And it gives me a good feel for how a new iPhone user sees the ecosystem for the first time. Plus, for some issues, they do carry forward, and it gives me the best results for starting from scratch. If you find you do not like this, you can then do a restore from a previous backup. So this is not for everyone, and not what I would recommend even for most. But if you are someone that felt your last phone was glitching and crashing more than others, and that behavior followed you over to your new phone, then absolutely try setting up as a new phone. Again, it is a bigger pain getting things set up that way. But you can always restore from the old backup if you don't like how things went. But if you're going to do all of this, make sure you have iCloud and you synced your contacts and anything else you want to iCloud so you can at least pull your iCloud stuff. Don't do the backup to iCloud, but at least sync your information to iCloud. Do your backup on your computer to iTunes as an encrypted backup so then everything is there. And then set up as a brand new phone and then sync your iCloud stuff over. Back to the email bag. Hi, Rob. I have gone into the Today on iOS app and it ran through a counter of the number of episodes and now it has a red circle with 14 on it on the app icon. How do I get rid of that? As I haven't heard all 480 plus episodes, but I am up to date. Regards, Mark in England. Well, Mark, very simple here. First thing is get to your list of episodes. In the upper left-hand corner, you see that we call it the hamburger icon. That's one upper left corner, 3 lines. Tap on that. Then go to settings in the list there and then go mark episodes and then pick the earliest date to start as a start date and then tap apply and it will clear out any of the red icon circles for the TI app or macOS Ken app or any other app that Libsyn makes for the different podcasters out there. 2 years ago for Christmas, I gave my parents Boll & Branch sheets. That right there should tell you what I think of Boll & Branch, and my parents love their sheets. And me and the wife love the Boll & Branch sheets and towels that we have. They have been the best cotton products, period, as I've been telling you for well over 2 years now. And you know what makes a great holiday gift? Warm flannel sheets from Boll & Branch, or maybe a cable knit scarf, or an origami infinity scarf, or a nice throw blanket. Boll & Branch makes it easy to find the right gift for your parents or your significant other or anyone else. The sheets from Boll & Branch are made from 100% organic cotton, not because organic cotton is some buzzword, but because organic cotton is incredibly soft, and the sheets get softer each time you wash them. Go to bollandbranch.com and you'll get $50 off your first set of sheets plus free shipping when you use promo code TII. That's $50 off plus free shipping right now at bollandbranch.com. Once more, bollandbranch.com, use promo code TII. And since Boll & Branch sells exclusively online, you don't pay that expensive retail markup. That's half the price for twice the quality. But here's the best part. Don't take my word for it. Try them out for yourself for 30 nights risk-free. If you don't love them for any reason, they will take them back and refund you without any hassle at all. This year, don't wait until it's too late. Go right now and get some of your holiday shopping done with Boll & Branch. Please go to bollandbranch.com and use promo code TII to get $50 off your first set of sheets. That's BOLL and branch.com and use promo code TII. We are now over 3,500 members strong in our Google Plus community and growing. Thanks everyone that has joined and thanks for the great posts. One new post in the Google Plus community that has a lot of comments that went up since the last episode was from Craig Lucas, who said the following, quote, "In the UK, we pay more for our Apple products but constantly get second-rate experiences. Apple TV misses loads of features. Apple Pay and iMessage, to name just a couple. This is the first time I've never upgraded to the latest iPhone due to the cost. Who else around the world feels cheated paying over the odds yet getting less than U.S. owners?" Unquote. Ken Ostrander said, quote, "What features does Apple TV miss over the U.S.? Out of curiosity, would a VPN help?" Unquote. And Craig replied, quote, "Not sure on VPN, but we don't get TV app. That's a big one. Then our main terrestrial players, BBC, ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5, we only get 2 of the 4, but iPhones and iPads get them all. I'm a Premier League fan, but we don't get that option," unquote. Per Apple TV app, check your iOS device again in the UK, Craig. So he actually was writing this prior to the December 6th when they start doing the updates. Tosin O said, quote, "I know what that feels like. If the products and ecosystem weren't so compelling, I'd be off," unquote. D. Bennett said, quote, "It's not Apple. It's all the rules and regulations over there when it comes to TV. The networks want different agreements than U.S. TV providers," unquote. And that is very, very true. And even the U.S. negotiations took much longer than Apple wanted. Craig replied, quote, at D. Bennett, I think it is Apple. They should be proactive in having things sorted out in as many countries as possible. I feel the rest of the world pays over the odds for products and as in fact subsidizing USA. Yes, today we got Amazon Prime, but big deal. We've had it on our smart TVs for years. Where's our Apple TV app? I adore Apple, but I feel slightly let down, unquote. Well, Craig, sadly, that is just not realistic. Negotiating rights clearances, it's a tough job hobbled by monopolistic policies in many countries. The real reason Apple promoted podcasting early on is not known by many, but it had to do with selling iPods and rolling out iTunes stores in all the different countries. Apple was having a hard time getting music rights cleared in most of those countries and did not want to roll out an iTunes store in a country with no content in it. Along comes podcasting with universal rights, and at least now there was something that Apple could put in iTunes for every store in every country. And that's why Apple got behind podcasting. TV and movie rights are more difficult than music. That's why we see it only in a few countries to start with. And when it comes to Apple Pay, well, as Justin Banfield said, quote, Apple Pay is always going to be tricky with banks and stuff. Do you guys have higher taxes on electronics or is Apple actually charging you more, unquote? Well, the banking issues are even more complex than in many ways than movies. Apple would like nothing more than to have all their features in all countries now, but that's not remotely feasible. And they are not going to hold back in the US or some other countries because other countries are making it more difficult to get through all the negotiations, red tape, and regulations. Finally, Dave Trotman said and added, quote, at Justin B., we not only pay more in Canada for the currency differential, but we have tariffs on electronics from the US. Not all our banks have signed up for Apple Pay, and Netflix has tons of French language content for us to enjoy. Some things get released for Canada pretty soon after the US, but our media rules here play havoc with our Apple TV choices, and we don't get the same Amazon advantages either, unquote. Folks, I know it's frustrating, but don't blame Apple. They are trying to roll it out into all countries, all features as fast as they can. They don't like the fact that all their features aren't available everywhere either. But if they had to wait where they could roll it out in all countries at once, they would never roll it out. Since the last episode, there were also dozens and dozens of other new posts and comments in the TI Google Plus community, which is an Android fanboy free zone and spammer free zone. Yep, it is the most civil Google Plus community covering iOS. Folks, go to todayandios.com/community to join in. And thanks to all 3,500 plus of you already in the community and contributing. Switching gears, this is an interesting accessory for Apple Watch. And it was just cleared by the FDA. It's the first medical device accessory cleared by the FDA for the Apple Watch, actually. It's made by AliveCore, and it is their Cardivand electrocardiogram EKG reader. It has a sensor that pairs with an app, and that can detect abnormal heart rhythms and AFib. The end user touches the sensor and that snaps into a slot on the watch's band, and they get an EKG reading in 30 seconds that can be sent to a doctor or a coroner if you happen to be using a carrier with bed connectivity. The band itself is $199 and requires a subscription to AliveCore's premium service. Of course it does, which is $99 a year. The founder of the company took some shots at Apple, saying you can't diagnose AFib without an FDA clearance. My only concern on this is it does require you put your finger on the sensor, so it's not using Apple sensors that are always connected. With Apple's heart monitor, you can set it up to give you a warning if you go over a certain heartbeat rate when at rest. Then I guess you can use that warning to then take a more detailed reading that you send off to the doctor. But I thought it was interesting the founder of the company seemed to poo-poo Apple's watch sensors. I just have to imagine Apple will be able to duplicate this feature in the near future. That all said, if you are someone at risk with AFib, you should definitely check this out now. Speaking of Apple Watches, with the holiday almost on us, one item that makes for a good gift is a new watch band. And no one has more overpriced Apple Watch bands than Apple. This year, they rolled out a bunch of new overpriced watch bands. There are 8 different colors for the new Sports Loop Band, which Apple describes as soft, breathable, and lightweight. This is for those that use the Apple Watch when working out. They will run you $49 each. There is the woven nylon bands that have 9 new colors this year, also at $49 each. The Classic Sports Band received 6 new colors, again at $49 each. The Classic Buckle Leather Strap added 4 new colors, and the Leather Loop Collection added 2 new colors, both collections at $149 each. And the Hermes Collection added 2 new bands. They are $339 and $489, and really push that overpriced thing to the limit. Or you could go into Amazon and search for Apple Watch bands and find a plethora starting under $10. And for $489, you could actually buy one each of the top 15 results for Apple Watch bands in Amazon and have $335 left over to buy a Nintendo Switch. Just saying. I am still trying to figure out why we do not have the HomePod for Christmas. Various articles the past couple of weeks have speculated all over the place, from poor performance of the audio versus what was promised, to poor performance of Siri, to some major shortages in a couple of key components, to the one I kind of started, which was that Apple was making so much money already this quarter, no need for them to release it. And they pushed it, and they want to push the revenue out to the next quarter. Whatever the case, there is really a detailed article from Daniel Aaron Dilger, because can he do anything other than write a really detailed article? This one is titled, Apple's HomePod Isn't About Siri, but Rather the Future of Home Audio. Let me quote Aaron from his conclusion, which I think is important when you put the HomePod into its place in the market, but please go and read the whole article. Quote, HomePod won't be competing against a $30 dot. It will be providing luxurious sound for users who want to effortlessly play Apple Music in their homes or stream any app AirPlay to audio from their devices, whether playing iPad games or iPhone music or turning your Apple TV 4K movie into a theatrical, immersive sound experience. It's not an Echo-like smart speaker, but more like an intelligent soundbar for effortless, exceptional home audio. Millions of people just paid $1,000 or more for an iPhone 10. They will be willing to pay for really great audio sound to go with it, unquote. And I think that is key. Apple's not trying to make an Echo competitor. It figures you have your Echo competitor in your pocket or on the charger already. It's your iOS device. It is making a high-end audio accessory to go with your Apple TV. That's what their core goal is here. I really look forward to getting one and trying it out to see how it integrates with our Apple TV in the boys' man cave. I just am going to have to wait until the new fiscal quarter so Apple gets that revenue into the next quarter. I guess we can kind of sort of get back into the rumor games again. Let's start with a slam dunk. KGI's Ming-Chi Kuo really phoned it in on this one. He said that Apple was working to adopt faster circuit boards across the Apple Watch lineups in 2018. You think? Okay, actually it gets more detailed than just faster. It's about some new tech for PCBs that allow Apple to save space on top of improved performance. The PCBs would be made from liquid crystal polymer known as LCP-FPCP, which stands for Liquid Crystal Polymer Flexible Printed Circuit Board. It allows for high-speed, low-latency data transfer. Long of the short, Ming thinks the next Apple Watches will be faster and better. Again, he kind of phoned in that prediction. Now let's get into some of the 2018 iPhone rumors. First up is, according to some, there will be 3 iPhones next year. One will be a 5.8-inch OLED iPhone, basically the 2018 version of the iPhone 10 with a better processor. Then there will be the 6.5-inch OLED iPhone, basically a 10 Plus, but with a newer processor. And then there will be one right in between the two at 6.1 inches and an LCD screen. The last one would be the lower cost unit. The 5.8-inch and the 6.5 inches are also rumored to have dual SIM cards, because why not? It's December and we have a long time to forget about this, since said rumor is not going to come true anyway, and we won't know for sure until September. The 6.1-inch version is also being rumored to have a metal back on some posts and a plastic back on others. Make that polycarbonate back. Apple does not call it plastic. The metal versus the polycarbonate back rumors conflict in that one thinks Apple will stick with wireless charging and the other thinks, well, they won't. And obviously the one that thinks they will have wireless charging would be the one with the polycarbonate back. All three are rumored to be full screen, edge-to-edge screens, no Touch ID, all with Face ID. Nothing in any of the rumor strings about the fate of the iPhone SE at this point in time. iOS 11 is now installed on 59% of all the iOS devices out there. This according to Apple, to their devs. Google has not updated their data yet. Last we had was the first week of November, where the latest version of Android sat at 0.3%. So basically, from the same point of time from when Android was first released to the same amount of time that iOS was released, iOS 11, we have 0.3% for Google Android for the latest version and 59% for iOS. Hey, when they release the December numbers this week, maybe they'll actually make it up to 1%. All we can do is hope and wait. I'll update those numbers later this week, where I hope to have another episode live Thursday morning if all goes well.
Hey Rob, it's Justin from Pennsylvania. I'm just calling to give you my experience of, I got an iPhone 10 this week. Oh jeez. Basically, I was able to just call up a store and go pick one up. Just called a carrier, my local carrier store, and they just happened to have the model I needed. So I went and picked it up, and I've been using it for a couple of days now, and I have to say I love it. Coming from a 6S Plus, I could say the size difference, I actually think I prefer this size better. I think the Plus, I like the screen real estate, but the unwieldiness of the size of the phone did get in my way when, especially when you're wearing different kinds of clothes, or like when I work, I wear scrubs and some of my scrub pockets didn't really fit them. So this fits perfectly with that. Battery life has been good, but I have to say, I think Apple really needs to change the battery indicator to be able to show a percentage, even if it's just like kind of like the way they do it on the watch. That would be great, because I hate not seeing the battery percentage, and maybe it's just my own personal preference. I like to see the number, and I'm constantly pulling down that menu just take a peek at it, and I feel like I'm wasting battery just checking my battery, which I think is kind of silly in the long run. But the screen, this screen is amazing. It looks so good, and with having the whatever they call it, their auto adjusting that they're doing, it looks great. I just have to say, all in all, I'm really impressed. I find this phone to be easy to use. I don't miss the home button. I can easily adapt to it. I adapted to it very quickly. I don't think I've ever went for the home button once, because the button's not there. But it's great. I think Apple did an amazing job with this phone. The screen looks great. The HDR stuff on Netflix is looks amazing. Like, watch Daredevil on it. I couldn't believe the colors I was seeing. I don't have an HDR TV at home, so it's really remarkable. So I know I kind of went on a little bit here on my review, but anyone sitting on the fence, especially a Plus user, from one Plus user to another, I think this size makes more sense. I would be interested to see what a Plus version of this phone would be like in the hand, but I don't know. I think I kind of maybe like this size, and I think it might be the right size for the phone. But I appreciate all the feedback everyone gives on this show, and I love the show. Have a great day. Bye.
Justin, thanks for the feedback on your iPhone 10. And it's good to hear from more people that basically they're available. So if you were on the fence waiting for an iPhone 10, you can go out and get one right now. And you may want to hurry up, because that supply probably will dwindle a little bit as we get closer to Christmas. We have a Kickstarter project to go over. This one is Magatar Waterproof Wireless Charging Ecosystem for the iPhone 10, and it's Magetar. From their description, quote, the world's first waterproof wireless charging ecosystem for the iPhone 10, iPhone 8, unquote. This one has a goal of $38,000 and has raised $6,000 so far. You have until January 13th at 2:44 a.m. Central Time to pledge towards this one. There are a few items in the ecosystem. There is the M battery, which is a 10,000 milliamp hour battery that wirelessly charges your iPhone 10 or 8 or 8 Plus. There is the M dock, which they claim is compatible with the iPhone 10, 8, and 8 Plus, and the Apple Watch and the new AirPod case. and they claim it will do high-speed charging at least 50% faster than, quote, those on the market, unquote. And they are saying it's MiFi certified. There is also the M speaker, which is a wireless waterproof speaker, which also has an internal 15,000 milliamp hour battery for wirelessly charging your phones. And they have a clear case, but whatever on that. Pricing for the M battery is $26 on its own. The speaker is $51 on its own. But if you want the M battery, the M case, the M dock, and the M speaker combined, they are $100. They claim an April 2018 ship date. Search for MAGNETAR, MAGNETAR at Kickstarter.com or in the show notes for episode 450 at todayinos.com. Ho, ho, ho.
He, he.
Ho, ho, ho.
I detect the hearty chuckle of the jelly-bellied holly jolly fellow.
Ho, ho, ho.
Homium, homium, homium indeed.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, hidden Markov models.
Ho, ho, ho.
Santa, is that you?
And that's our Ask Siri for today. I'm going to try to get a couple of more episodes before Christmas. Next one will probably be Thursday morning or Friday morning. So we're going to have another episode hopefully out this week. It will hopefully be Thursday morning. And then I'll get another one out Monday morning of next week. And then I won't have another one until 2018. So I've got 2 more episodes after this one to get out before Christmas, preferably. And then that will be it until after the holidays. Thanks again to Boll & Branch for sponsoring this episode. Folks, go right now to bollandbranch.com and use promo code TII to get $50 off the nicest sheets and cotton products you have ever owned with free shipping to boot. And before we go today, I want to remind you to send your feedback into the show. 206-666-6364. That's 206-MOON-DOG. Or record your feedback and email to the show at todayinos@gmail.com. Feedback can be a question or comment for something someone said on this episode, or it can be a question or rant about something else, an app, a product review, good or bad. As long as it is iOS related, it is welcomed. I'm always looking for new artwork to feature that you've created on an iOS device. Just put some TII branding on it and send it in. And of course, we're always looking for more music created on an iOS device to play on the show. It's your show and your feedback is greatly desired. And oh yeah, send in some ideas about things that you are going to buy for someone or wish someone would buy for you related to around a Christmas present. So what's something that you would like for the holidays that is iOS related or that you're giving to someone that's iOS related? Also, don't forget to check out our moderated Google Plus community by going to todayinos.com/community. And a quick reminder, if you are an app dev or an iBook author, email me if you want your app or iBook featured in the promo giveaway segment for free. We just need the 5 promo codes or more to give away. Simply email me at todayinos@gmail.com and please include a 60-second or less audio review of your app or iBook indicating you are the dev or the author. Also, when you send in the promo codes, please make sure to let me know when they expire. Thanks again to Love Pop for their support of TII. You can unlock special pricing for 5 or more of the greatest greeting cards ever and get free shipping on any order by going to lovepop.com/TII. Finally, check out the TII app, which is free to you. Search for TII in the iTunes App Store is the best way to consume the show and to get push notifications each time a new episode of TII is released. It's fully voiceover friendly, of course. Please go right now and download the TII app or get the update. Until the next time, I'm your host, Rob, reminding you to phone different. This show is hosted on Libsyn.com and part of the Wizard Media Network. If you are looking for hosting, go to Libsyn.com. That's LIBSYN.com for hosting for your podcast and for creation of your own smartphone app. The Today in iOS podcast can also be found on the free Stitcher radio app. Just search for TII.